Lore of the Old World, Chapter 13. The Lost and the Damned. Deep within the immaterial realm of the Aether reside the ruinous powers, beings of incomprehensible magnitude, cruel deities that play with the lives and dreams of mortals as if they were mere toys to be cherished or discarded upon a whim. Barbaric and primal, these gods are the most powerful emotions and the deepest, darkest fears and passions of mortals made real. North of the Empire, north even of Kislev, lies the realm of the gods. Here, where the colossal gateway of the Old Ones once stood, leading to distant worlds, the thin veil between reality and the Aether has been torn asunder, and the realm of chaos spills into the mortal world. In the dark hinterlands that lie between this world and the next, the marauder tribes dwell. Numerous beyond counting, these tribes differ greatly in customs, traditions, and even in appearance. Some are tall and fair, with long flaxen hair and bristling beards. Others are stocky and robust, with coal-black hair and dark, brooding eyes. These tribes range from small nomadic warbands to hordes of barbarians that rival the nations of the Old World. Yet all of these tribes share one thing in common: their devotion to the ruinous powers. At the edge of reality, the gods of chaos rule all, and to the tribes that battle for survival on the cusp of the world, they are the only gods worthy of adoration. In their name, the marauder tribes war with one another eternally, seeking the favor of their patrons. Each year, tribes unite under powerful leaders and march south, spreading destruction and seeking to topple the weakling gods of civilized lands. Whilst the tribes of the far north are the most prolific worshippers of the ruinous powers, they are by no means alone. Throughout the Old World, twisted individuals seek one another out, banding together in secret places to worship at profane shrines and conduct dark rituals. These secretive cults hide from the authority of church and state, avoiding the wrath of church-sanctioned witch hunters and city militias alike, whilst practicing dark arts and plotting against the very civilizations that harbour them. They give shelter to foul mutants cast out by their parents, and sanctuary to the practitioners of dark and evil magic fleeing from the persecution of righteous priests. To these cults are drawn scholars and labourers alike, high-born nobles and lowly peasants in equal number. They grow in size with each passing day, and as they grow, so spreads their corrupting influence and their hidden power. Charismatic and maniacal leaders arise, their powerful oratory filling the imaginations of their followers with glorious visions of ruin, of a world dominated by chaos and ruled by the gods' favoured disciples. These hidden cults form sprawling plans of great complexity, installing their agents and spies in the courts and garrisons of great nations, ready to unleash chaos and toppling the thrones of kings and emperors alike. All who serve the ruinous powers strive for the attention of their dark masters. The devotees of the gods of chaos perform great and terrible deeds to prove their fealty, hoping to impress their diabolical patrons and earn their infernal blessings. To the followers of the ruinous powers, the blessings of their deities are both immediate and real, unlike the blessings of the weak gods worshipped by the cowering populations of civilized lands. For those that prove their worth and attract the gaze of the gods, great power awaits. Gifts are bestowed upon those favoured with careless abandon in the form of great and supernatural powers, longevity, and most profound of all, mutation. The gods delight in granting their favoured followers a vile array of mutations. Amongst the northern tribes, it is not uncommon to see warriors sporting horns, tails, or additional limbs, or that have been granted a unity with their weapons and armour, their swords becoming as much a part of their body as their hands, and their armour melded to their flesh as a second skin that can never be removed. But these mutations can be horrifically disfiguring and disabling, and one favoured by the gods might be granted so many that their true form becomes lost within an ever-warping mass of flesh, their sanity shattered. But the gods do not care. Any follower so blessed must accept their lot and adapt, for to complain about such burdens is to draw the gods' ire. Sooner or later, the most devout servants of chaos feel an urge to walk the path to glory. Following in the footsteps of past pilgrims beyond counting, they turn their faces to the north and strike out in search of the fallen gateway at the top of the world. Gathering about themselves war bands of loyal followers, these aspiring champions carve a bloody path through the lands, seeking worthy enemies and battling the war bands of rival champions. Those that prove worthy feel the gaze of the gods upon them. They are gifted many rewards by their patrons, and their war bands grow as followers flock to their banner. In the fullness of time, the greatest champions find themselves standing on the threshold of the realm of chaos, where all reason is lost, the laws of nature hold no sway, and time loses its meaning. Here at the edge of reality, the supplicant pauses, their final challenge lying before them. Only those with the most courage are able to step beyond the physical world into the presence of their gods. Many more linger, frozen by self-doubt for a day, a week, a month, a year. In a realm without time, many sacrifice eternity to a moment of uncertainty. Of those few that possess the courage to step into the void, most are judged unworthy, and their souls are consumed by the aether. But those who gain the approval of the gods are rewarded, and return to the world swathed in glory, ready to lead the armies of chaos against the forces of order. The devotees of chaos follow a staggering array of deities and spirits with varying degrees of fervour. These many gods all exist within a wide pantheon, ruled over by the four greater powers, Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, and Tzeentch, who vie eternally for seemingly unattainable dominance over one another. Most offer their prayers to any god that cares to listen, neither acknowledging nor denying the primacy of any, though some choose to dedicate their every action to a single patron. Khorne, the Lord of Skulls, an angry, raging god of bestial strength and merciless battle prowess, clad in brazen armour and wielding a broad-bladed sword drenched in the blood of 1 billion fallen enemies. Among the warlike marauder tribes, Khorne has many followers, for he rewards bravery, might-at-arms and conquest. Khorne is also known variously as Arkar or Karnath, and is often depicted as a great warhound, eternally thirsting for blood, his howl an inescapable call to war that fills those who hear it with a terrible fury. Nurgle, the Lord of Decay, he who unleashes famine and pestilence upon the world, also known as Naiglen, Onagol, and Nurglich among the marauder tribes, and often depicted as a disease-ridden carrion crow. Nurgle appears to his most devoted followers as a massively bloated creature, festering with boils and poxes, and surrounded by a dark cloud of flies. Yet despite the terrible nature of the gifts he bestows upon the world, Nurgle is a kindly god, and his followers revel joyously in his blessings, embracing the delights of decay, disease, and ruin. Slaanesh, the Dark Prince, the youngest of the four greater Chaos gods. Known under a multitude of names, including Shornal and Landshore, they are the Lord of Pleasure, the patron of all things beautiful and seductive. To many, Slaanesh is both the master of excess and fount of all creative power, whose realms of influence include music, art and passion, pride, arrogance and excess. To those that worship at the many altars of Slaanesh, the Lord of Pleasure appears variously as an androgynous beauty that inflames the passions, or a writhing serpent that creeps into mortal minds, bringing dark and selfish desires. Tzeentch, the changer of the ways, the master of magic, and the weaver of fate. Among the marauder tribes he is depicted as a great eagle, soaring high above the world, his unblinking eyes seeing all, and he is known as Char. Tzeentch manipulates the fates of all mortals into complex and intertwining patterns, and delights in watching his countless carefully laid conspiracies unfold, gradually revealing his insane plan to his pawns in ever more terrible detail. He is the patron of many sorcerers, whom he gifts with ever more profound mastery of the winds of magic.